This is Mr. Brovicast. We're doing the whole parent-teacher night. It's August 11th, and I'm getting ready to talk to parents and all stuff like that. Parents at home, miss you. For the parents who are here, hopefully you grab the purple paper, and then for the parents at home, we're also doing it. Yes, your kid has not told you, I have purple nails and I have purple hair, although several of you already know, because apparently that was how you could figure out who I was. And I'm not completely creepy with the children on my tie. They're my own children, although the last 2 days I have been wearing not my children on my tie, because after I wore my children on my tie, I started having random kids giving me ties with their face on them. So now I just have a collection of random children's faces on ties, and I try to make that sound as uncreepy as possible. The hair and the nails is because my kids who were this size are now high school aged. When I was asking them to start this year, I was like, kids haven't been here for like 18 months. What can I do to try to help ease them in? And both of my children said, you should paint your nails. And I said, you think that'll help? And they went, yeah. So I did. And then after that worked, they're like, you know what else it would go with? Is dyeing your hair. And I was like, you try? I went, yeah. So I did. And actually it worked. It really seemed to help disarm the kids and help get them in and stuff like that. Plus, I've been teaching for over 20 years. So I have no shame or emotions or feelings and stuff like that. So we're all good. Most of what your kids have told you about my class is true. It's gonna be hard for them to make stuff up. As the year goes along and they come home and tell stories, they're probably gonna be pretty accurate stories. As I keep telling them, I'm not like most of the teachers that they've experienced up till now. Hopefully in a good way. But this is what my room is supposed to look like. So if you're unaware, this is not my normal room. This is the temporary room I'm in while they're redoing it. So normally when you come into my room, I have decorations everywhere that I've collected over 20 years. And all the stuff that's up and around my room are all toys and posters and gifts given to me by kids over 20 years of teaching. And I've run out of room on the walls, and it goes up onto the ceiling and stuff like that. And in case you were trying to place bets with the other teachers on how long it took me to take all of that stuff down, the answer is 5 days. I was very efficient, and it's now all in boxes on the stage. And in theory, coming up in September, I get to go back to my room, leave this place, and then get to start putting stuff back up there. My room is tiny in comparison to this one, but I like my tiny room, because in my tiny little room, I teach in the middle of it, so I can literally just spin and like smack it, touch, interact with every kid if I needed to. But here, you guys are like way in the back, and it's so weird and awkward, so I have to like wander around the room and stuff like that. But eventually we'll be back to it. Oh, and with the stuff up there, I've had a number of both kids and parents ask about, do they get distracted with the stuff on my walls? And the answer is, of course. But that becomes my challenge, to be more entertaining than the stuff on my walls. And if I fail, that's on me. And so I have stuff up there, but I usually do a pretty good job of keeping their attention on me as opposed to the things around the room. Or for some kids, they need a break from my personality, and they get a chance to go to their happy place and just stare around the room. I'm also okay with that. I understand. I can be a little intense at times. Camp Tecumseh. I'm one of the camp directors who is helping to run it. It did not happen the last 2 years because of COVID. As of now, we are pushing forward with it happening this year. And so it's not going to be coming up until April, which again is way off into the future. And so it's a thing that is going to happen. Normally we would have a meeting tonight, like before the whole thing starts, but we didn't do that this year because again, COVID, getting together in really large groups. And also we've learned it's way too early in the year. You guys don't know what questions to ask until we get closer. We will have a meeting, it just won't be till February. What I will tell you though is, you can volunteer to join us, and it's not nearly as scary as that might sound at first. It's also very limited numbers. And the way it works is we need parents to come and stay in the cabins at night with the kids, because if you guys don't do it, then the teachers have to, and the only thing more creepy for them than a parent in there is teachers in there. So you guys being there can be a really good thing. Plus, in all honesty, it's like your last time to hang out with them before they become big, tough 8th graders and like are too cool for the world, and you get to watch them run around in the woods and stuff like that. We do not give you a lot of jobs aside from don't let them die overnight. Other than that, you get to run around the woods, drink lots of coffee, have a relaxing 3 days and stuff like that. If you're interested in it, then get one of these from me, and then the sooner you get it back, you get put onto the list. If you're one of the home parents, you can email me and I will hook you up with one of these also. And so the faster you get these turned in, it becomes a first come, first served kind of thing. And we've had it in the past where all of our spots have filled up before the end of August. So it just depends from year to year. So that's that part of it.
Do you have to have like the background and everything? Like,
Eventually, yes. To fill it out now, no. But by the time you go in April, yes. For now, we just want the paperwork of you saying, I want to go, and then we'll worry about making sure you're safe in the future. If you're not safe, you don't get to go.
The one we have for the school, good for that?
Yes, yes. If you got the background check for good for the school, then you should be good to go. We don't have a special one. We literally just check through the office, and if they say that you're safe, then you're good to go. Solid. So, Heroes team, me for English, and then Mrs. Randall social studies, and then Melling for science. We usually begin the year with a pizza party where we get to all come together and talk, because tonight is just a 10-minute frenetic pace. You guys coming in and judging teachers for 10 minutes and then leaving. The pizza party is a much more relaxed atmosphere that we usually get to try to do. We're going to push to do it this year. We just don't have a date yet because we're waiting to sort of see how things shake out. If you're on my weekly email, which hopefully you should be as I send out the updates, I will put this on there once we have it nailed down. Our goal is we're aiming for a day in September as sort of the year shakes into us. They're making us sort of put things off and wait. Once we're allowed to lock a thing in, we'll lock it in and send it to you. Instead of pizza party, it may be a cookout where we're all outside. But the idea is you guys get to come in and then meet us and then talk to us and stuff like that. And it's just a much more low-key evening than what this one is. So just giving you a heads up. We are wanting to do it. We just have to wait to get official clearance. So last night, I gave them their first real homework assignment-y thing, which was this little yellow sheet thing. I've learned in my 20 years of teaching that when I tell home parents, when I tell kids, follow directions or bad things happen to you, a lot of them tune me out because I'm an old person. And they're just like, blah, 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 old man. And so I've learned that helping educate them, sometimes learning can be painful. And for some of them, this was that painful thing. When I was a wee lad back during dinosaur times, I had that teacher that gave me like the big long list of directions. And for those of you who grew up in the 80s at one point, you probably, I learned from it because I was the big dum-dum kid that did all those directions. And I learned that just blatantly pushing through it was not always the right thing. So I now do it for my kids. And many of them also learned. Blindly pushing through and doing all of it as opposed to reading the directions can be a little bit on the painful side. And so I told them last night, only spend 15 minutes on this one. And hopefully if they had older siblings, they didn't help them cheat on it. But hopefully the kids did well. I've saved all of them. So if you want to know how your child did, just let me know. And I'm more than happy to email you a picture of it. Or you can just come by and grab it. Because in theory, it should have just had like their name and birthday on it. But some kids really committed. Because when you got to like direction 32, it tells you don't have to keep doing it. You can stop here. And the first 3 directions literally say, read the directions. Are you sure you read the directions? Do not continue until you've read the directions. And the kids just go, skip, 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 again. And they just go ahead and commit. And I had ones turned in that were just detailed the whole way through. So hopefully it might have been educational for some of your kiddos last night. This is not how all of my homework is. It was not for a grade. It was for learning, but not for a grade. This learning happened here. For some of them, it happened here, but it was good for them. All right, as far as how my class actually works. One, hopefully you're getting my weekly email. I've sent out 2 of them so far. If you've not, then just email me and I can get you added to it from there. And as the year goes along, I'll use that to sort of give you guys a heads up on what's going on and things like that. Should make things a lot easier for you. Canvas. I used to have a website. Actually, I still have a website, MrBroviac.com. But now I put everything up on Canvas. And so you can be able to find there. So anytime they're missing things or recording of the class, stuff like that, will all be on there to help you out. Now you get to go off to the 3rd period. 4th period, sorry. It's already been.
Just a reminder, we should be headed to 4th period now.
4th period. All right. Absolutely. If you need the Kevin parent form, come see me. Stop this.